Try to run me through. Hold on, think again. Don't you know what you're starting? But you sure we got the clue how bad.
All right, so welcome to the Easy Allies Community Podcast. I think that's what we're calling it these days. But with me, I have two guests, and they are. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm the TheZepp187 in Twitch chat, and I guess in YouTube I'm Slim Charles. But in the Facebook community I'm Raihan, so I'm probably the only Raihan.
Yeah, I'm Jimmy. I don't really do Twitch or too many other forums or anything, but following Easy Allies on Facebook and everything.
Awesome. So, I'll just open up with what have you guys been playing lately? I mean, it's a pretty obvious answer. I've been seeing you guys on the friends list, so it rhymes with Persona.
Oh.
Do you want to talk about Persona for a while? Because it's all I can think about, at least.
I mean, yeah, I've been... Oh, go ahead.
I just haven't been able to stop. Just started playing Tuesday night. I'm about 9 hours in now. I was playing right before we started this. I just can't.
Yeah, I'm somewhere
I never
around
beat
there.
Persona 4, but
I was just about to ask, have you guys played Persona before, or is this the first one?
Yeah.
I've only played 4.
I played a lot of Golden. Yeah, I played a lot of. I bought Persona 4, the PS2 one on PS3 a while back, and I got a decent chunk in until I bought a Vita, and then I got Persona 4 Gold, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll just start over, no big deal. And then I loved it, and then I went back and played a little Persona 3, but not enough to really get too super deep in it, just to kind of get an idea for it. But yeah, Persona 5 is just it's there's so much to unpack with Persona 5. Just the artistic style, and just it's traditional JRPG, but it's so different in a lot of ways. It's super fast paced, and just what do you guys think about the stealth system? Because that was a really, really cool idea, I thought.
I think it was a good way to implement an arcadey mechanic to it, because obviously it's an RPG series. So I think it fits pretty well, and obviously you've played Persona 4 Golden. Anything is better than those types of dungeons. My goodness.
Oh, I was so happy when I'm like, oh, these aren't randomly generated? Okay, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I like the stealth. My only problem is whenever I'm hovering up against the walls, I'm always, instead of shifting to another cover, I'm just sliding around the wall and then getting caught immediately, way too many times.
Yeah, you definitely got to get used to it. You just kind of. Yeah. I had to take it a little slow. You always want to do those trailer moments when you see him in the trailer, he's just dashing around left and right. It's I want to do that, and you don't really get too many opportunities, at least in the first dungeon. But when you do it, it feels really good.
Yeah, I mean, I just beat the first dungeon, so that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I just beat it too.
I'm still on the main first dungeon, I guess, with the teacher.
The castle.
Too much spoilers.
Yeah. No spoilers. Yeah.
I think I'm, technically speaking, they've informed me I'm, halfway.
Oh,
I got the little key thing with
Dude,
the
it's
books,
so nice that they actually tell you how far you are. Because
Yeah.
in Persona 4, you just had to wing it. It's I'm getting kind of close to the deadline. I better just, keep tolling away at this dungeon. Whereas now you can actually say, hey, how close am I to being done? And they'll say, oh, you're almost there. So it's sweet. Next day. And there's a very defined point where it's okay, you will beat the dungeon the next day.
Yeah.
So that is very nice.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say, because you were asking, it's a JRPG, but it's so much more. And why do, all of us just keep wanting to play it? I think this game, or the Persona series in general, is just, as Huber might say, is amazing with pacing. It's just
very
it's
balanced.
Super front-loaded with story, and then they after front-loading that story, they deal it out a little bit by little bit. But also, in my opinion, this is one of the only few games that I think is also a slice of life kind of simulator.
Oh yeah, I
don't
love
know
it.
if you guys agree?
It's like Animal Crossing meets Final Fantasy. It's yes,
Yeah, exactly. And it just works. It's so unique to itself. It works.
I would love an actual Animal Crossing cross Persona game where it's just the social stuff in real time. That'd
Tom
be
Nook is your greedy persona.
Igor is your landlord. Welcome to crippling debt.
Oh man, that's too good.
But
Bring
yeah.
up Kyle Bossman.
But I was a little weird with like the different voice actor for Igor, but I was like, I downloaded the Japanese audio pack, and I'm like, you know what, it takes place in Japan. It would be like, you know, narratively consistent to play in Japan. But then I just started playing it because, you know, Persona 4 was only in English, and then I'm just like, you know what, these voice actors are really good. Like, I really love like Ryuji's voice actor and On's, and even like the protagonist has way more voice work than previous Persona games.
Yeah, I agree. I love the voice acting, and the other thing is I'm not like, you know, like a giant stickler for source material all the time, at least. But the thing is, I would say the only, I guess, gripe you could say for me in terms of the English voice acting is, you know how they say like Takamaki?
Oh yeah.
You know, Takamaki or something like that, you know, or Mishima.
They say it like you would in Japanese, but it's in English, so it sounds weird.
Yeah, and coming off of something like Yakuza 0, where you just keep hearing the way it sounds, you know, Goro Majima, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
It's just a little...
It's a little uncanny.
Not a big annoyance. It's just a little strange.
Yeah,
but
like, yeah, they have that
it's just so
traditional...
good.
They have the traditional, like, not pronunciation, but, like, the emphasis is on specific vowels.
Yeah, the
and stuff
emphasis
like
is
that.
different. There you go. That's what
And,
I was looking for.
but, like, the pronunciation is different. So it's just a little, like... It's weird.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
to
I
say
saw
it's
people
bad.
posting like that weird stuff on NeoGAF, like all those like screenshots, but I don't think it's that bad.
What screenshots?
It was just like of like weird wording and like things that like we as English speakers would not say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
I
saw...
can't think of
not
anything
a-
off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
I did see not a screenshot, but like a NeoGAF complaint, which NeoGAF's always a grain of salt because those guys are overdramatic all the time. But
yeah.
somebody was saying how they saw a screenshot of one of the characters saying like Kek, like K-E-K.
Oh, like,
I guess
yeah.
that's a meme.
Well, cause like,
And
yeah.
they're just like, oh, well, I see that, and I'm just gonna stick with the Japanese audio now. And I'm like, really? Is that gonna really ruin your day?
Cause the localization is really good.
Yeah.
Like, I was a huge fan of the localization.
I have no complaints. I love it so far.
You know how like the an aside just for Kek. You know what Kek is, right?
I don't, sadly.
Okay,
I don't either.
I believe I could be totally wrong. This is just what I know. I believe its origins is in Warcraft or World of Warcraft, and how when you put things in chat, it would automatically translate it in Orc, and that's what LOL means in Orc.
That makes sense.
So I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
if
I could be
that's-
wrong, but that sounds right to me.
Yeah, it does.
Then it sounds like kind of like a American translation thing, because I've already ran into an instance like that where I think the teacher was talking about the forms of government in the country, and he was saying legislative, judicial,
Yeah.
whatever, and I'm like, that's pretty much
Yeah,
American. I'm pretty
that's
sure
very-
that's not the
yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
government.
Yeah.
Well, it could be
So-
just like in more American terms.
Yeah, in more American-friendly terms.
They probably
Yeah, so
didn't
it's
know how
like-
to translate it, so they're just like, we'll just use, you know, like stuff
Yeah, and
people
it's like,
know.
that doesn't bother me. It's like, I get what they're doing. What's...
I mean,
Yeah.
it makes more sense too because this is going to be a lot of people's first Persona game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of
It's
the
very
easier-
accessible.
Can I ask you guys about that? So, this isn't my first Persona, nor is it yours, obviously. So how do you guys think this, I guess this one translate for first-time players? Do you think it might be a little too complex, or no?
Every Persona game has that learning curve. I mean, I got it real hard in Persona 4 when you're at Yukiko's dungeon, and like you're just like, oh, I've got plenty of time. I'll just wait and do all the dungeon stuff later because I love the social aspect stuff. And then it's like you get hit with that game over, start a month over, and you're just like, oh, okay. This is
Yeah.
still this is still a JRPG. I still gotta go through those dungeons and kill those enemies. So I think once you learn right away that you still need to put a lot of emphasis on the actual like dungeon crawling aspect, I think that's when, you know, you'll just get over that learning curve. But I think
Yeah.
the reason Persona 5 will do it really well is because the dungeon crawling stuff is really fun this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I personally, for me, the personal thing that I had to get over for Persona 4 was just the combination of personas, and also a lot of people might see Personas and be like, oh, it's like Pokemon. Well, it's like, no, like, most Persona are fodder, because you're going to get rid of them and make new ones. So I had to really get over that hump, and then, like, you know, combining them. That took,
just not using the same one the whole time.
Yeah, until you stop
Yeah.
leveling up with him, and you're just like, I guess it's time to fuse him.
Yeah, exactly.
Hate to see you go.
So learning that concept, I really had to, like...
I'd say once you get rid of that first Persona, that's when you're finally like, I'm good at this game now. Like, I'm willing to let go of my past.
Yep. Pretty much.
But
But
yeah,
I
just-
mean...
I just
Overall,
can't stop
it's-
thinking about Persona.
No, I can't either. Like, I was coming to this and I'm like, should I make an excuse? But I'm like, nah, I'd be like a little shithead if I did that. I really want to be part of the community.
Oh yeah, I was like, I've been putting off homework because like it came out and I'm like, I have like stuff to do, but like I'm in a little like film class because I'm in college right now. And I'm in a film class,
Same.
and like one of my friends, like we're doing a project together, and I'm in charge of writing the script because I'm the director, and I'm like, I keep telling him like the script's almost done, and in reality I hadn't even started it yet because I was too busy playing Persona. It's just like, oops,
Can I tell you guys a little story about like how I got my Persona Take Your Heart edition? Like, I'll try to be as quick as possible.
Pre-ordered it.
So I ordered it back in June, from Amazon, and then I just had a bad feeling, you know. Sometimes you just get a bad feeling in your stomach, and I thought somehow this is gonna get delayed. The morning of Tuesday comes when it's supposed to be delivered, and I see that there was a transit delay, and of course I'm furious.
The same thing happened with mine.
Yeah, so this took some trying, but they did it, so good on them. I called Amazon, whatever, made a stir. I didn't cuss or anything, which is good, on my lunch break during work. And so I literally got them to compensate me $60, and then I bought the digital copy of Persona 5, and then at 10 o'clock that night, I received my Take Your Heart edition at no, like, extra charge. So basically I have 2 copies of the game.
That's
one
awesome.
physical, one digital.
That is so crazy because literally almost the exact same thing happened to me. I got the delay. I called them and I complained to them, and they said if it doesn't come by tomorrow at 5, then you can get the refund. And then my little brother gets home and it's in the mailbox at like 9 o'clock at night.
Dude, Amazon
Yeah.
customer service is just really good, even though they don't need to be at all.
Yeah.
I think it was like Gears of War 4 or something like that, where if you're like something happened to your pre-order, they just gave you the digital copy. They're just like, sorry, here you go. And like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I felt kind of bad, but at the same time, I was like, well, you know, this is the one time I just can't make an exception. I've been looking forward to this game for what feels like years.
That was the same, like,
Yeah.
almost, something similar happened to the guy I interviewed for the first episode of the podcast, which you guys should listen to if you haven't. But he, for his Switch at least, when he ordered a copy of Zelda on Amazon, I think, and then he went to pick up his Switch and they bundled in a copy of Zelda, like unbeknownst to him. So he just had 2 copies of Zelda. So he's just like, well, I guess I'll just give this to somebody. So he said that when I get my Switch, you'll give it to me. So thank you, Keegan. But
That's what's up.
but yeah, I just have to get the Switch first, which is like impossible. It's a tough place being in like the situation I'm in, where you don't have enough money to buy a new console, but you have enough money to buy new games for the console you have. So you have this weird situation where it's like, I really want this new console, but Persona 5's coming out and I need the collector's edition. So it's just like,
Man. I think I can one up you in one of those must be nice situations. So, you know, obviously I have to take your heart, right? But we're talking about the Switch. My aunt, bless her soul, she's like, oh, hey, Raihan, I want to buy you a Switch for your birthday. And of course, politely, I didn't say no, but I didn't say yes. I said,
oh, you really
can do
shouldn't.
what-" Yeah, I was basically like, listen, this is your choice. I'm not going to say no or yes either way. So you know what I'm saying. But here's the thing. As nice as this is a gesture, how's she going to find one? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I was actually I was actually gonna ease into a little. It's not a smooth transition, but I definitely want to transition because whenever this topic gets brought up, it makes my heart beat a little faster, and it makes my hype train go wild. And everyone knows that E3 is coming in a couple months, and it's just
man, catching the syndrome.
You know, like it's like I've been watching all of the GT E3 reactions, the of course the EZA 20. Like who could forget that Resident Evil? Like
Yeah.
oh my god, I love just watching them not know it's Resident Evil 7 that they're just like, what is this? It's cozy, as Huber said. I'm just like, oh, they have no idea what they're about to get hit with, and it's just it makes me so inspired to just get out and do something. It just gives me energy watching those E3 videos. And I was just curious because, like, now that we got... The Scorpio event was a little lackluster, in my opinion, because I was expecting much more from that Scorpio, like, quote-unquote reveal today.
Yeah.
What were we going to say?
Oh, no, sorry. If there's more, and then...
I was just going to say, like... I was expecting them to at least give a name, maybe a release date, price. That way, when come E3, they can just be like, you already know about the Scorpio. Here's just a bunch of games that will take advantage of the Scorpio's power and whatever. And like, also,
that's what they need to do.
Yeah, and every video will be bumpered with Xbox One and Project Scorpio and Windows 10 exclusive. It's like, okay, guys, because I was watching Microsoft's conference last year, and it's just like, okay, we get it. It's Windows 10 and Xbox One exclusive. Jesus, but I was just curious of like what you think Microsoft might do. Like, what do you think they should do at E3? Because I was actually talking to a friend today about Scorpio and just E3 in general. So, what do you think Microsoft's E3 press conference will look like now that they didn't really do much with Scorpio?
I think, and you guys don't mind me going first, right?
Oh no.
Okay. No, just based on what you're saying, I actually think the opposite of like in terms of the, I guess, reveal, quote unquote. I think this is actually very smart. This
it's definitely not a bad move.
Yeah, here's the thing. They put their specs and numbers right on paper for us, right?
Yeah, that way we don't have any spreadsheets at the conference.
Right. And E3 is in what, like a month and a half, 2 months, essentially, let's just say. So for that month and a half, 2 months, basically what this is going to do is allow the community to basically be like, well, if it's this powerful, then we can do this, that, blah, blah, blah. It gets our imagination flowing, and then I think when that imagination hype builds, I think that's what Microsoft is going to be counting on, because at this point, what Microsoft needs to come back with, we already know they got the hardware. You know, like, who gives a shit about that, honestly? I think what they're going to do is come hitting hard with like games, and not just that, games that really show off this power, because
got Crackdown at 60 frames.
Yeah, Crackdown at 60 frames, 4K with the high-res textures. I mean, I don't know if you looked at the specs or anything that Digital Foundry was talking about, but apparently they were running
Forza 6
it was either Forza 6, it was Forza 6 at 4K native at 60 frames per second, and they were only using about 66% of the GPU power, apparently.
Well, just wait till Forza 7.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's what they say, and I mean, that's basically like, you know, it gives them room to improve.
I mean, they straight up said in the dev doc, like, this is the we heard you console, you know?
Yeah.
This is like, we're going to give this space to grow, because I think they're counting on this for another... They're definitely this is gonna run past, like, PS5 is gonna be out by the time, like, before this life cycle is over, Scorpio's life cycle is over.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, like, I saw another YouTuber say this the other day, and I agree with him. I think this is like a shadow drop, like Xbox 2, honestly.
Yeah,
they're just not saying it.
It's complicated, because I was watching their conference, and all of the vernacular they're using is like, this is still an Xbox One console, it's still part of the family, all the games will work on both. So it's like, it's not next gen, but it's also not a half step. It's just kind of like somewhere in between that. It's like, you can't say it's just a new console that's backwards compatible, because it's you know, it's very complicated.
Do you guys think they're just they're the first company to try to start really conditioning us to 4-year console lifespans instead of the 6, I guess you could say is average.
I think they're trying to ease us into PC gaming, but
Yeah, I mean that's what they want us to do, but they have to ease into it.
yeah.
Yeah, the baby steps for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, my friend and I were talking about how Microsoft, they're really telling their hand how they want to get out of the console market almost, because with Windows 10 compatibility and all that, and how the Scorpio is basically a PC but with the simplicity of a console, and it's just like pretty soon they're gonna have a console that has like swappable parts and everything, or they'll just sell like packages full of like PC parts that are like just branded Xbox, and we'll just build our own PCs that are branded with Xbox parts that have like Xbox Live installed on the hard drives. It's like they're kind of just slowly saying, hey guys, PC gaming, like it's that way. We're just
I think they very much know what they're doing in terms of how slow they're going, because just as an example for, let's say, casual, and I'm not saying Xbox gamers are casual, just from that perspective.
I have an
a friend,
Xbox.
I have an Xbox.
Yeah, I mean,
as well.
I do too. Yeah.
I have a friend that she started gaming when Halo 3 came out, and this has nothing to do with her being a girl, just as a consumer. She's just very not tech savvy, but she plays a lot of games, but still is somehow not very tech savvy. And I think the approach that Microsoft is taking, like incrementally, like it might be for people like them, where it's like, this is not a PC yet, but one day they're gonna introduce some add-on that they will cleverly market to a person like that, and they'll be able to get it. It'll click with them, and who knows, maybe 7 years from now, my friend, she'll be playing PC games and playing Halo 10 or something on her PC.
It's a taste of the dark side. It's saying, you like Scorpio, huh? You like that 60 frames per second in 4K, huh? Then, hey, in a couple years, we got some PC stuff coming. It's like, it's kind of, it's baby steps. They're planting the seed.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it might alienate people, though. Like, I mean, well, like how you were saying with casual gamers, like, I have 3 little brothers. They bought the Xbox One that we have. I have a PS4, but all they do is play sports games, maybe like Assassin's Creed, Battlefield a little bit, stuff like that. And they could care less about the Scorpio. Nothing will make them buy it no matter what happens. Like their sports games could look 10 out of 10 on this,
Exactly, because like if you wanted your games to...
I mean, they're aware because I told them about it. But like,
if they want amazing graphics and performance, they'd already have a PC. So that's my only problem, my concern, I guess, with the Scorpio is if you don't care about graphics, then you already have the base Xbox One, Xbox One S. If you really care about graphics, you already have a high-end PC. So the Scorpio is that weird spot where it's like, if you really care about graphics, but you're also a console pleb, it's like, it's like a PS4 Pro. It's like it's a very niche spot. You're in.
Sure.
It's also going to be really expensive, so it's like...
I don't even think it's even that black and white, though, because here's another thing, like, do all 3 of us PC game, by the way?
I have a Mac, so if that tells you anything.
I mean, I have a laptop that can run games a little bit.
Like, I can play Civ 6 and CSGO, that's, I'm good.
Okay, I have a custom PC, and, like, I can run more than that. However, it's not, like, the latest shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, my point being, though, I work at a desk job, maybe you guys do too, and it's like I'm in front of a PC monitor all day. And I'm not gonna lie, man.
I get
coming home and the idea of going to my room to play PC games or just coming downstairs to play Persona 5 in my living room, and it is purposely placed in my living room because I need a reason not to be in my room. It's just, even though I have a PC, and yes, I know I can get better performance, blah, 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 the convenience factor is a huge thing also.
And I mean, like, you can hook up your PC to, like, your home entertainment system, but it's just not the same. Like, it's still, like, you're at that, like, you got your, like, Windows 10 whatever, like, UI, that you're just like, God, this, like...
I mean, not just that. You have to take, like, this toddler-sized box to your freaking living room.
Yeah, it's just like... You just got your PS4 there, and you're just like, well, I got trophies, I got everything's specifically tailored for the very simple experience, like, I'm good.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna start Persona 5. It's gonna work. I'm gonna get trophies.
You don't gotta update your drivers.
Yeah, and I got 2 hours to sink into this. So let me do this and then go to bed.
Exactly.
So it's a little less black and white, but I can see where you're coming from.
Console plebs for life.
Yeah, definitely. There's just so many factors. Like, let me ask you guys though, what, in terms of what would Microsoft have to do to actually sell you on a Scorpio? Sounds like you guys like the hardware.
I mean, for me, it's just like the games because for me, I'm not a big Halo, Gears of War fan or any of that. So there's no reason for me to get an Xbox.
Okay.
Everything else I can play on PS4, you know. So
Yeah, I'm in kind of in a similar spot where I love me some Halo, and like I got Gears of War 4 and it came with the Gears franchise, and I didn't like Gears until I was like halfway through Gears 3. I'm like, oh, I like this, I like this.
Yeah.
And so it was a weird moment. So I'm like, okay, I'm an Xbox fan. Like I like Xbox games, and I like Sunset Overdrive, and I played Forza Horizon 3. I'm like, man, Xbox is pretty cool. But the thing is, any third-party game I want to get on my PS4 because I already have that established. Like I'm at like trophy level, whatever. It's like, why would I? Like I got trophies, I got whatever. This is the platform I'm familiar with. I'm gonna get my third-party stuff here, unless it's like exclusive content on Xbox, which is shady backdoor shady deals. But if I'm gonna get if it's got exclusive content, I'm gonna get it on the console that has exclusive content. And it's just like because I have the distinct option to do both, but it's like I'm only using my Xbox for exclusives, and I think we all know that Xbox hasn't exactly been killing it with exclusives in the past like year. It's like, so it's difficult. It's really difficult because I want to love Xbox, but there's just not a whole lot they can do that'll make me like Huber Shenmue 3 hype. There's nothing Xbox can do that'll make me get there.
Okay. I guess for me personally, it's kind of in the same route as you guys. It's the games. Like my Xbox One right now, I have the HDMI from it disconnected to use on my PlayStation 3. I think that says a lot.
yeah.
I haven't touched it since I guess holiday 2016 to play some Gears, but I don't know about you guys. For the most part, I've grown kind of out of not grown, excuse me. It's just not my preference to play multiplayer games all the time anymore.
It's a good aside for me now.
Yeah, exactly. But I can't invest what I feel like is valuable time into it unless, it's a game like Persona 5, or even a shorter example like Resident Evil 7. I'll play that over any multiplayer game right now. What I mean?
Yeah. It's very case by case basis with me, where it's like I'll love playing me some Persona 5 or whatever, but then a game like Titanfall 2 comes out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh shit. Like this multiplayer is good, and I'll just do that for a long time. And Overwatch and I'm still playing Rainbow Six Siege. Like I don't know anyone like it's so
actually,
good.
Dude, you have Siege? We got to play together sometime.
Oh dude, Siege Gods.
That's the only multiplayer game I've kept. Like I even sold my Overwatch because
I think it's better than Overwatch.
I was just sick of the meta. Oh yeah, dude. Siege way better than Overwatch in my
There's
opinion.
just so much it's weird when you look at Overwatch because Overwatch is a very deep game, but then you compare it to Siege and it's like Call of Duty to like chess. It's like I mean Call of Duty's still deep. You know what I mean? It's like tic-tac-toe to chess. How about that? Like it's like Siege is just there's just so many layers of strategy. Like it's strategy, tactics, character choice, the meta. You need like reflexes, and like customization. Like there are so many variables. Whereas Overwatch is very like, if you know the map, you know the characters, you're good. Whereas this is like you can know everything about this game, and it all depends on like the other team's comp and your team's like competence.
Yeah, I think for me, Overwatch and Siege, like even though I prefer Siege, it's I think for me they're equal because here's the thing. I guess Siege is more like the Souls of shooters, or the only other shooter that I think can compare to like Counter-Strike. Whereas Overwatch, it's like you can just have so much fun.
Yeah, I guess
and
that's a good point.
I'm not saying you can't have so much fun with Siege, but it's easier to have fun with Overwatch.
You go into Siege to be a badass. You go into Overwatch to have a good, like, chill and have a good time.
Yeah, pretty much. You can go do either or in Overwatch, but in Siege, it's more like you better play seriously because nobody's gonna like you. If you
go into casual, you'll get annihilated if you're not paying attention.
It feels terrible to like get shot like through a centimeter hole on your toe and just die.
Yeah,
Like,
you'll see a guy who's in like the corner of a map who shot out a hole in the wall and he's sniping people who are spawning. It's just like, how did they know? It's like, but that's just how Siege is. You got to know the maps and know the strategies.
I mean, some of those players though, I swear, they got ESP or something. No way, man.
MLG.
My God, ESPN, right now.
But getting a little off track.
I can't even remember the last time I played a multiplayer game. That sounds insane.
Yeah, it's
Souls of shooters. I'm like, that sounds amazing.
Dude, Siege is like, even if you're not into multiplayer shooters, like it's one of those where it's like you are now, like, because it's instant. We're getting so off track, but I don't really care because it's Siege talk, and I love Siege so much. And it's just there's so many layers. It's got the depth of a single player game, pretty much. Like, and it's got the permadeath, and it's like it's high stakes. And it's just tense as hell. Like if you listen to the soundtrack of the game, it's specifically designed to just get your heart rate up. Like, oh god. Everyone's like, who knows what could happen? And then when you get to like that 1v1 situation, like match point, it's, dude, I have to just set the controller down and sit in that lobby for like 20 minutes and just like, okay, calm down. Calm down.
Siege,
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Siege can make you actively scared. Like, there will be matches where you'll be in like a tight corner and like, you know, everybody's still alive, but it's this, it's, what do they say, calm before the storm thing, where like if you're on defense, right, and then they're attacking, you'll just hear like tick, 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 and then you'll hear dunk, dunk, dunk.
Yeah, you'll hear breach. Yeah, oh, the fuse.
And I'm just like, where is that? Oh my god,
the Jaeger,
I'm so scared for my life.
The Jaeger like destroys 2 of them, and you're just like, it's not enough. Everyone dies.
Yeah,
it's like, no.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just like cowering in the corner like a baby. I mean, literally, Siege makes you flight or fight, you know, type of response.
Yeah. Don't choose the kid's bedroom on house. God.
Oh.
That's the meat grinder.
That's my favorite level. I love that.
Oh, the house? Yeah, I love house. That was the beta map.
That's my favorite map.
One of my friends and I, we played the beta so much, we have that house just memorized. Like, we'll just put the drone, like, we'll go through the drones, and it's like we'll just be like, kid's bedroom, kid's bedroom. You know what to do. And just like we fuse, ash, sledge, like everyone combined forces, spirit bomb that bitch. Just like go. But it's just like,
so to round it out a little bit back to the Xbox talk, I will say during that free weekend that Siege was available a couple months ago, I played it with that friend I mentioned who's kind of a casual on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice a disparity in the community in terms of communication. There's actually, I will say, as far as social communications go, PlayStation has come a long way. But somehow still the Xbox version of Siege actually had people talking in the fucking game chat.
Yeah.
It felt amazing.
I've had some bad experiences with Xbox Live though. I was playing Halo 5 over winter break, and I'm not good. I would never call myself good at Halo, but it's one of those where I was just like, you know, I'm playing Halo, I'm having a good time. Like, it's Halo 5, let's go. And I'm you know, bottom of the leaderboard. I don't really care because it's just like I'm just shooting people, having fun. And then I just hear this guy in game chat calling me like, you know, F like the bad F bomb. Not fuck.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
And so it's just like I'm like okay, and then I turn on, I unmute myself. I'm like I'm in Bossman mode is activated. I'm just like, hey guys, did we win? And he's just like, oh, I just had to carry you and blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, okay. And then we got put on opposite teams to just capture the flag. And I capped the flag twice and our team won. I'm like, huh, did we win? I can't tell because I'm just so bad at this game. And then I'm just talking so much shit now. I'm just like, you know what? Xbox Live, your community's still not amazing, but it's fun to mess with, you know, like. But PSN, I would never say PSN's much better because you got assholes on both sides, no matter where you go. So.
Yeah, the only difference is it's a little quieter. In regards to that, let me see if I can rein this a little too. Because of online features, and we keep talking about Persona 5 as well. One big controversy this week that happened is the whole, blocking of. I guess you could say basically streaming in general, really. with Persona 5. Even if you have like a capture card, Atlas is kind of quote unquote threatening streamers not to go past a certain date with showing what they're showing. So, what do you guys feel about that?
I'm of two minds. Part of me is like, well, it's Atlas, we're buying their product. It makes sense for them to regulate it, and like we have to follow their rules because we're buying into what they made, you know. It's like Nintendo. It's like, well, it's shitty, but that's just how it works because that's the way they want it. And I get it. I totally get it where they're coming from. It's like, this is a very narrative-driven game. We don't want people spoiling it, so people watch people play it, and they're just like, oh, I know what happens now. I don't need to buy it now. Whereas like if they cut it off at a certain point, it's like, okay, now I'm interested. Now I want to buy it. But it kind of backfired because that they just see they're blocking streamers from playing past a certain point. And it's like, oh, that's shitty, you know. So that's just my thoughts. Like, I get it. Okay. I don't like it, but I get it.
Okay. What about you,
son? I think that they should be wanting people to stream their games. I literally just watched the ETA podcast where they were talking about this. So I kind of feel the same way they were talking about it.
Are you a Patreon? Was that like an early?
Yeah.
Because I don't think
no spoilers.
Yeah. They talk about Persona 5, guys.
Right. Tomorrow, baby.
and as you're saying,
will be out after that.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I mean, you want people to see that, and the people who are going to have that game spoiled for them are not the same kind of people that aren't going to buy the game because of that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
like, if they're watching the game, they're okay with it getting spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, for me, I think, you know, I partially agree with that. The other thing for me, though, is like, I feel like this, basically, like, it's telling a teenager not to do something bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you tell someone not to do it, they're going to do it.
Yeah, and it's like, the clear example, my friend who's as giant a Persona fan as I am and all you guys are, he told me he was just reading some thread kind of in regards to this situation, and then he accidentally, just before he could exit out of his app, saw some asshole spoil a good chunk of the game.
Yeah.
And it just, you know, it invites that type of thing. I feel like this is really backwards kind of thinking because, you know, from my understanding also, wasn't Atlas the only company during the PS3 era to make a region-locked PS3 game? The only one?
I can't tell you. I don't know, but
I think I read that somewhere. You know, don't quote me, but it seems like backwards practices aren't out of Atlas's realm. But
it could be a Sega call too. You know,
it could be, but you know, there's games that like I'll give you an example: Tales of Zestiria, like the one before the newest one. That game had certain parts that would notify me, oh, you're at a part that's blocked from recording.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes did that too, with the ending.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, well, why can't Atlas just have it, like, basically be unrecordable after this date if it's so important?
Yeah, well, I heard you can't even take screenshots from what I heard. I haven't tried.
Oh, no, you can't do anything. Besides the title screen, you can't take screenshots,
that is
video,
wild.
Nothing.
That's so, like, I get it, but, like, you can take a screenshot of the ending of Watch Dogs 2 or Uncharted 4, and it's like, okay, you know, just don't be it's basically like, it's like gun control. Like, not to get political, but it's like, just don't be an asshole, you know? Like we're giving you the tools, but just don't be an asshole.
Common sense, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
You know,
and now people are going to be assholes because of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's 100%. You tell someone not to do it, they're going to want to do it more. Like, I was just going through, like, I was listening to the soundtrack, because the soundtrack in Persona 5 is fucking amazing. Like, I'm not afraid to say. It's like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Like, never. Anyway, I was just, like, I was scrolling down to the comments. I'm like, wait, what am I doing? Like, people are going to spoil this up the asshole. Like, why am I going to the comments? So it's just like, now they just created a minefield where I wasn't afraid before, and now I just am. Like, every single time I see someone talking about Persona, I'm like, well, mute them or block them or whatever, just because, like, I can't risk it. You know, you never know.
It's scary, like, and people will be huge trolls too, because I think one time I was looking at something for maybe a game or movie I was looking forward to, and I was reading the stupid YouTube comments, and somebody started as like a Fresh Prince, song, and then it just had a spoiler in the song. I'm like,
I saw. I don't want to spoil Logan, Just in case, I mean, like, if you haven't seen it, the hell's wrong with you? But like, I saw
10 out of 10.
Yeah, but like, I was on Instagram, and there's like a lot of spicy memes on the Instagram, and I saw one that like a common one is like, don't swipe right, because they have like the albums now, and like it was like, don't swipe right, and I swiped right, and it's Logan spoilers. Like, thankfully I'd already seen the movie because I saw it like opening day, but it's just like, oh man, like that would really suck if someone like just didn't know what to expect, and then it's just spoiled the movie for him. So it's like, people be trolling out there.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like I was watching. I don't know if you guys watch any of the IGN podcasts, but GameScoop.
Oh, I kind of stopped listening to GameScoop, but
I mean, that's really the only one I can really watch anymore. But yeah, they spoiled the setting of Horizon before the game came out.
I heard that.
They did?
I was actually listening to that episode, and I wasn't paying attention at that specific moment. It was the weirdest thing in my life. I swear to God. It was like, I was listening, and then I phased out for a second, and then I hear them going like, "Oh, how could you say that?" I'm like, "Wait, what?" So it was like,
well, I'm like, you guys should have like at least cut that out. Like,
I think they did. I think they re-uploaded it with that taken out, but still.
Okay. I mean, I watched it a few days after it came out, so I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't beaten Horizon yet. So
it's
no
not
spoilers.
like, I mean, it's not like the big spoiler of the game, but it's still something really awesome when you find out for yourself where Horizon takes place. You're just like, oh shit, like totally, I get it. Everything makes sense now.
If you're talking about a certain place within around where we live as a landmass, then I know that.
It's just like, well, it's one of those things like I didn't even think about it until you go to one of those vantage points. You're like, oh,
exactly.
I get it now.
Never mind.
Yeah, like it's not supposed to say there's a city in it because it's in like the starting area, and then like you go to a vantage point and it's just like, oh, that's what city this. Oh,
okay.
So there are clues in, like, if you look at the map, there are clues in the environment, but you don't really know until the game straight up tells you, which is something like it's totally like you'll have suspicions. And then you finally, like, the curtain's pulled back, and you're just like, yes, perfect. Like, that is awesome. Like, no game has ever really been set here. So it's like, yes.
Speaking,
we're really teasing
Horizon,
it hard. I feel bad for teasing it so much, but it's just because it's so cool, you know.
That makes me curious, though. Speaking of Horizon, and with all of us playing Persona, how many games have you guys basically, maybe from your backlog, or even at that moment at least, your current log, have you put on the complete hard backlog because of Persona 5?
Ghost Recon for me.
Okay.
Like, but Ghost Recon's a nice game to just jump in, get some collectibles, and jump out, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I don't have Zelda yet, so it's just like, you know, don't worry about that, but really, I haven't been...
The only one for me is Nier. I really want to play it, but...
I still have much interest in Nier, so it's like not too big of a deal. Like, I want to play it, but I'm just not like chomping. It's like Mass Effect. I'm like, you know, it's there.
I also can't afford to be buying all these games constantly. It's insane.
Yeah.
I need a Switch.
Yeah, me too. And I
2017, stop. Like when you look at this year, it's like how is this year a thing? Like this is like it went from one of the best to potentially the best years in gaming history.
I think the only explanation I have for that is that Japan was finally ready with their things, and then they're like,
they dropped the atomic bomb on us.
Yeah, like we don't really care about you know, whatever U.S. release dates or holidays. We're just gonna release them, and we just because the majority of these games we're playing are Japanese, save for Horizon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like
Nier, Neo,
holy
Persona,
shit.
Resident Evil.
Nier, Neo, Persona, Resident Evil.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Even Yakuza 0.
Oh yeah.
Let's not forget Yakuza 0. The ship is not sailed.
Yakuza 0 is still hyped, guys.
Hell yeah, baby. Oh my god. I love that game. Took me 42 hours to beat, and then that's actually why I hooked up the PS3 again, is so I could play the series.
I mean, I played Yakuza 0 because of them.
Yeah, I Yakuza 5, I think, was free on PSN. Yakuza 4 and 5, I think, were both like PS Plus games for PS3.
I'm one of those idiots that never like I had PSN Plus, but I was
just didn't
like,
go back.
Well, not only that, I'm just like an idiot. I'm like, I'm never gonna play this game, so I'm not gonna bother moving my hand for 2 seconds to redeem these at
Well,
least.
like, I played a
which I
little Persona
regret.
5, but like I didn't play enough to really like. I liked it a lot, but it was still just like I'm on PS3 though. Like I'd rather be playing PS4 right now. So it's like to have Yakuza 0 like on PS4 and like Kiwami and like 6. It's like okay, like I'm finally ready to take that leap into the Yakuza world.
Yeah. Just to get my back burners out of the way, I have Nier on the back burner, but no, that's fine. Because I want to ask a question after this. I have Nier on the back burner, but I'm technically in the middle of ending C. I'll just come back to it after 80 hours of Persona. That's fine. I have Horizon on the back burner, and I have Neo on the back burner. But Neo, I never expected to beat like anytime soon.
I need to buy Neo, but
Neo's great. And
like I played the beta and the technical test, so I'm like, I really want to buy this when I have money for it.
Dude, I love Neo.
Yeah, Neo's great. I wanted to ask you guys, since we're talking about Kiwami and all this shit, can we talk about like our E3 predictions a little?
Oh yeah, I teased it. I teased it earlier, but like we totally got off track, which is like totally fine because again, this is like the frame trap, like community
Fast and
frame
loose,
trap.
Baby, fast and loose.
You cost me.
Update nights.
You brought up Siege and you cost me. But
God damn it.
I actually have my laptop right here. I was watching their E3 videos like a month or two ago, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna make E3 predictions. I'll just let you guys riff on that for a while if you want to. Because I have like conference by conference, the order and the order of like announcements and everything. So I'm gonna go balls deep in predictions. So I'll let you guys go first.
Okay. Then I guess to make it a little easier and faster, because I do want to go conference by conference with you when we start.
Yeah, we could just go. We could all go conference by conference and just talk about what we want.
Well, for right now, I guess I'll say pie in the skies though, and hopefully even shadow drops. So like a year or so ago, before even Yakuza 0 came out, I heard Sega had interest in HD remastering the series for PS4. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm hoping Kiwami's coming out in summer. They said last.
That would be
E3.
good.
And I'm hoping maybe they shadow drop or even like be
you know what they could do?
Yakuza collection in the winter.
You know what they could do though? They could because Yakuza 2 and 3 are PS2 games, right? Or
Yakuza 1 and 2 are PS2 games. Yeah.
1 and 2. Oh yeah, because 3 is PS3. They could just have 1 and 2 be PS2 on PS4 games if they wanted to. Like I know we got Kiwami, but you know if you want to play the original, you know, go for it. Just have that option.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they maybe do that. You know, like at least
because I would love
to remaster. Like just put that Yakuza 2 on the PS2 classics and like you know have 3, 4, and 5 as like a HD thing you can buy or some shit like that.
They could even just put it on PS Now.
It might already be for all we know, but because nobody really cares about PS Now. But
so you know, just something like that. I would love it.
That's an awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's something they would announce on the stage, you know. Just because like
that's a PSX
that's a very PSX announcement because like you look at 2016 and you're just like I don't even know if Ni no Kuni is gonna make it on stage this year, you know.
Well, in 2016, didn't we get Zero and Kiwami like trailers though? Because
no, that was PSX.
They showed up in the sizzle reel at the end, but that was it. Like even Persona 5 was in the sizzle reel. I'm like, you put Persona 5 in the sizzle reel, guys. You do not realize how big this game's gonna be. But yeah,
I think I confused like Huber's like epic description of playing Yakuza 0 with it being on the stage sometimes. Cause...
Yeah, the hype is too much.
Oh my god, that description. A single tear. Like
dude, like I already liked Yakuza. Like I had an already like respect for the series, and then I watched EZA, like Huber and like Ben talk about it. I'm like, shit, I need to like get back into Yakuza, like full, like just balls deep into Yakuza again. Like holy crap.
Yeah. But that's my pie in the sky for now. So if you guys want to go ahead with the pie in the sky and then get into the nitty gritty, I'm down. Oh, by the way, 10 minutes for your podcast recorder.
Ooh, you were keeping track?
Well, I told you I would.
Not bad. I sorry, I must have phased that out, but not bad. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'll wait for my pie in the sky.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if I have a specific one right now. If you want to go ahead.
Okay.
I see. Like, I don't really. My pie in the sky though is just like, I just want to see what Sucker Punch is up to. Really, like,
Dude, yes.
it's not too pie in the sky because it's probably gonna happen, but I don't think it'll be Infamous. Like, I think they're done. I think Second Son was like. It's like Guerrilla Shadowfall, where it's just kind of like we're already kind of moving on to bigger things, which is why this one's kind of half baked. If that, like, I loved Shadowfall and I love Second Son, but they didn't feel like that good, you know.
I love them, but they're not good.
Well, like, you know what? Like, compared to previous entries, like,
Yeah.
you compare Second Son to Infamous 2, and it's just like what, you know, and then like Killzone Shadowfall to like Killzone 2 or even like 3 especially. It's just like what. Okay.
I mean, it's not the next gen jumps that they needed to be.
Exactly. So it's like I think because like Shadowfall was more just like we're kind of already moved on to Horizon, like, you know.
Yeah.
And whereas like I think Sucker Punch is ready to move on to their next big thing. Because I remember listening to Nate Fox talk in an interview about how they came up with Infamous, and they said like we had 3 main ideas that we pitched to Sony, and they chose Infamous, but we'd still love to make those other 2 ideas someday. So I could totally see those happening.
Do you
But, like,
remember the other 2 ideas?
No, he didn't say specifically, just because I think they were gonna work on them someday, and he didn't want to like show his hand. You know, like it makes sense. You know,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
like I would love to, because I love Infamous so much, and just to see Sucker Punch, because we see what Guerrilla does when like now that they're unleashed, and it's just like
Off the rails.
yeah, it's like they went from like good developer to one of the greats, you know, just like one fell swoop. It's like holy, like these guys got chops. Like they made the Decima engine, which is gonna power Death Stranding. It's like holy, like Guerrilla Games. So I have a feeling Sucker Punch might. I don't know if they'll have a leap that significant because we already know what they're capable of. Because like whereas Guerrilla was like we didn't know you were that good. Whereas I think Sucker Punch, like Infamous 2, is like oh you guys are that good. But it's probably gonna be open world, you know, no surprise there. But Sucker
Like
Punch,
most games.
Yeah.
Sucker Punch. I think they'll do something great. But yeah, like
Well, that's...
otherwise for like Sony, do we want to just talk about like while we're on Sony, like just like what we think's gonna happen at the conference, or
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Just go through it.
I think
think
will
that-
Yu Suzuki reveal himself? you
I
know?
think he will. I think it's time. I think it's time to finally come back and say, hey, thanks for your tremendous support on Shenmue 3. If he even, like, he'll probably take the stage. I mean, like, considering, like, Kojima, you know. And, like, they like to put a spotlight on the big developers. And so I think Yu Suzuki will come out and be like, thanks for your, like, tremendous, like, support. Shenmue 3 is gonna, like, come, I say, like, next year, maybe. Just because, like, if
I
like
was gonna say, there's no way it's coming out this year. No way.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll
that'd
say
be
we'll
that'd
at
be
least get, like, a
intense.
trailer.
Yeah, there'll absolutely be like footage, and I could.
And I don't mean like a teaser, like
Yeah.
a real trailer.
Yeah,
I mean,
like game,
what about
like gameplay.
Shadow Drop of 1 and 2 HD?
Oh, that I was just
Oh
about to
my
get to
God.
that. I was literally just about to say that. I'm like, I could totally see him saying like, "Hey." And for those who aren't familiar with Shenmue 1 and 2 are available, like maybe not today, but soon for PS4 users on PC and. But I think.
I mean, I never played 1 and 2. I needed
Yeah,
that.
I would be. Yeah, totally. It's like get me hyped, you know. But I think they opened the show with Days Gone. I think they opened the show with Days Gone because it's like they.
I don't know about that.
I think they do because I have because it's one of those where they didn't give it an opportunity to really knock people's socks off in like a really significant way, and to open like I think if they do open the show with it, which is like again I just think they will just for if they have something planned they will like smoke them if you got them, where they'll really show us what in an in-depth look of what the hell are we actually going to be doing in this game. And I wouldn't even be surprised if it's out this year, you know? Like, because they gotta space it between Last of Us 2, Part 2. Like, they can't have those games brushing up against each other. Even, like, for a year difference would be like, didn't we just have a Sony-exclusive zombie game? You know, like... So, it's hard to say.
I think the thing with Days Gone, that would be, I guess you could say, awkward if it was this year. And I do actually think it has a pretty decent chance of being this year.
Because the footage they showed was, like, pretty... You know, like, there were a few hiccups here and there, but nothing you couldn't polish out within, like, a year or two, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and from the footage they showed, I think it may be an open world game. But the
Oh,
thing is,
they've already
there's an
discussed
open
it as an
world
open
game.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big open world game already coming out this year, hopefully. And that's Red Dead Redemption 2. And it's like, does
Yeah.
Sony want to do that?
Because I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is also going to be on Sony stage because they got that deal with Rockstar, exclusive content, and like GTA 5 remaster or like on PS4 was on Sony stage, so it totally makes sense.
Oh, speaking of deals, Destiny 2 is going to be all
Oh,
over that
100%.
Sony stage.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
It's- What do you?
And Call of
Actually,
Duty,
speaking
and
that,
Call
do
of
you think
Duty.
they might just open with Destiny 2?
I don't think because
Like-
we'll already have that gameplay footage and what because that event in May is when they're gonna do like a full gameplay blowout. So it'll probably just be
Oh,
like
is there an event? I didn't know that.
yeah, because they like with that cinematic trailer, there's like and your first look at like raw gameplay will be on like May something. So it's like why didn't you just wait? But I guess because the pressure from the leaks and all that. But
Yeah.
but
I mean, I have a hard time seeing them not opening with one of their exclusives either.
well yeah like. I don't think they'll open with God of War again just because they already did that, and it's farther along now, so they can just do like a more like vertical slice, like traditional trailer, like release date. It's
what
like
if-
I
What if
was
they
thinking
open
maybe
with
gameplay of
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man. I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
about to say that.
Spider-Man. Like yeah, this year, next year. I mean, it's rumored like the
Well, yeah,
the exec said this year, but it's probably planned for this year, but there's no way in a million years that's gonna land this year.
Well, I don't know though, because there you got Spider-Man: Homecoming coming out in July. It'd be perfect. Like people.
Yeah,
already think
but
makes
about
like
it.
sense.
yeah, I
And maybe
guess.
the movie will come out on Blu-ray by that time, so it's like, hey, pick up the Blu-ray, pick up the game.
Yeah, I
with
could
it.
see it tying with the Blu-ray, not necessarily the theatrical release. Like definitely not the
Yeah, not the
theatrical release.
theatrical,
Like,
definitely
God.
not the theatrical, but like Blu-ray comes out end of November, and
Yeah,
hey, boom,
yeah,
Spider-Man.
I could see that, but like, it's just even when you watch the the actual trailer, like not like none of like without the stupid wide shots at E3, there's still some frame rate stutters and stuff like that. And like this is the it's like this is the cinematic trailer. Like okay, like it's Insomnia. Like
Well, could that be due to the stream though?
it could have
like the stream
it could have
source?
been just taken from the stream. That could be 100% be it. But it's like I have 100% faith in Insomniac that they'll deliver like an amazing game. Like if Ratchet and Clank and Sunset Overdrive are any indication, like Insomniac
Especially Sunset.
gets it, get it.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I love Ratchet and Clank, but I think Insomniac is definitely gonna hit it like big because they just get what people want. They just get it.
Well, except for that one terrible game they made, Fuse.
Oh yeah, well
whatever it's called.
that was I think that was a product of like bad publishers. Like I think that was EA or something. But like
Well, honestly, I actually looked into like some of the history of Fuse, and a lot of that was actually due to their focus testing they did. So
Yeah.
surprisingly, they did it with a bunch of kids, like in the 9 to
Oh.
10-year-old range, and they're
Oh.
like, "Yeah, we
want
don't like
edgy."
the uniqueness of these characters. Just we want, kind of like edgy or kind of genericness."
the
So
Call
they
of
went
Duty
that
effect.
route. Yeah.
Like I love me some Call of Duty, don't get me wrong, but it's just like it's kind of ruined some gaming.
Well, I mean, shoot, man. I saw something recently. I think GameSpot did like a study where like
Oh yeah.
like teens were asked what they think is better or cooler, Xbox or PlayStation, and resoundingly Xbox won. But it's not a reality.
That's the thing. When you look
right
at core,
now.
when you if you ask a core gamer, they'd say like, yeah, like bias aside, like Sony's killing it. You got Persona, Neo, Nier, Yakuza. It's like yeah. But anyway, back to E3.
Back to E3.
Yeah.
Sorry, fast and loose, baby.
Be baller as hell.
yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake opens the show. That would be like, ooh, like oh.
There's your pie in the sky, man.
Yeah, I guess that's my pie in the sky. There it is. It's time, baby. Bring it back.
Oh.
Like I
See,
think
that's
this is
just
the
more
E3. where-
PSX though.
No, I don't think Final Fantasy VII is bigger than PSX. Like you
Yeah.
watch the E3
I can see
reaction.
them ending it with. God.
Ooh, that wouldn't be. But I think opening it would be just like a power move almost. Like look
Yeah,
how
yeah.
good. Like how do you top 20? Like because 2016 the main question was how do you top 2015, and now the question going in 2017 is how do you top 2016. How about you open with Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay and the release date? Like yes.
If they have the release date there, it's over. But
Well, like
Oh,
I mean, it's gonna get delayed.
The stadium's
but,
gonna explode at that point.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if it's gonna get delayed. It's part 1 of like what 3,
yeah.
right?
If the rumors are well, I mean, they're not really rumors
there's a
like
chance.
yeah. I think people got a bad like people kind of looked at that poorly when they said part 1. It's like this is still gonna be a meaty game, you know?
Yeah.
So because I've never played Final Fantasy VII, so I'm like this will be my first exposure to the game, so I'm like totally okay with it being like stretched out, you know? I'm 20.
I'm 24.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're 24. Okay, so you're only a year younger than me.
I grew up with the PS1.
I've played 7. I didn't beat it till much later in my life, but I've definitely played 7.
I grew up with the PS1, but not Final Fantasy, just because I didn't really know what Final Fantasy was.
I mean, I just never got into like JRPGs until maybe like 5 or 6 years ago.
When growing up, I was just like the only JRPG I was really exposed to was Pokemon, you know. So it's like,
Oh, of course.
that's you know.
I think I've always liked JRPGs, but I think becoming an adult and actually having funds to experiment with my purchases actually solidified my thought that
whenever
I
try to sell Persona or like a JRPG to someone who may not really be familiar, I'm like, it's Pokemon but adult, all right? Just like, you know. It's like that's just the easiest way to describe RPGs. I'm like, it's Pokemon, how it's like turn-based or whatever. It's like that, but like not that.
Yeah, and it's like even now I've been thinking about like tinkering with like descriptions. I'm like, you know what? You like RPGs? This is the Cowboy Bebop of JRPGs, and I think people
this is
would
the Dark Souls
of
JRPGs.
Like, it's like,
have you seen that Mega 64
there's just
video?
Some universal appeal for
the Dark Souls of whatever. They did a video about how everyone compares everything to Dark Souls. They're like, this is the Dark Souls of news programming, and this Dark Souls is the Dark Souls of video games. There's like my boyfriend just broke up with me. It sounds like you're having the Dark Souls of real life or whatever. You know, it's like stuff like that. It's just making fun of how everyone compares everything to Dark Souls. It's just like something's difficult. It's like I have nothing wrong with that, but it's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Because it's
that is too good.
But anyway.
So speaking of Souls, do you think we're going to see a new Souls game at Sony?
One could hope Bloodborne 2, baby.
I don't know if it's
Persona 5. That's my favorite exclusives on PlayStation 4.
I want a new IP from them so bad.
Yeah, I could see Bloodborne 2 or something brand new. But I would love Bloodborne 2 because I'm one of those weird people that doesn't like Dark Souls but loves Bloodborne.
See, I love the first Dark Souls, but I don't like Bloodborne as much.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not too into the fastness of it. But
see, that's what I like the speed and the quick twitch.
Yeah, I mean, well, did you play Bloodborne or Dark Souls first?
I actually played Demon Souls first. I liked that.
Then, yeah.
And then I went to Bloodborne. I'm like, oh, this is a million times better. And then I went back to Dark Souls. I'm like, this kind of I'm not in. Like, I liked it.
You can't go. Yeah, I liked it, go back to it.
Yeah, and I just didn't find the world interesting. And then I gave Dark Souls 2 a shot. I'm like, maybe the gameplay's a little more refined, and it was, but just like, again, I just didn't find the world interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas, I'm in the middle too. Like, I love Bloodborne. It's my favorite, but in terms of Souls games, quote unquote, Demon Souls is my favorite because that's the first one I played.
Underrated gem.
Underrated gem, and basically it was also before all the hype of like the Souls series.
Port that to PS4, guys, please.
I've never played it. I would be so
people maybe like, instead of Bloodborne 2, or a new IP, just like remake Demons or like just remaster Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Put that on PS4. Like, wow, you like Souls? Here you go.
So like, I don't know. I've heard. I don't know if it was Miyazaki or if it was From Software, but I heard in an interview them expressing interest in making like a science fiction game.
Ooh.
And besides Armored Core, I want to see what they would be capable of.
A Souls-like sci-fi game, though.
What? Not they just said science fiction.
I know, but
it doesn't have to be like Souls.
I know, but like it just planted that seed in my mind of like a Souls game in like space, like.
Well, have you heard of that game, The Surge?
No, I haven't.
Yes. Lords of the Shadows
Fallen.
or whatever, or Lords of the Fallen. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like Lords of the Fallen, but this one looks pretty cool.
Lords
It's
of
like
the Fallen was
sci-fi,
so
like mechs and
trash.
stuff.
Well, there's Let It
Yeah.
Die, which is like post-apocalyptic Souls like gameplay. So it's like
True. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
loved
but
Let It
this
Die.
This is like straight sci-fi, like
Yeah.
kind of. I think you have like that movie Elysium. You have like those mech suits, but they're not mech
Yeah,
suits.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
Exoskeletons.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Call of
you have
Duty
exoskeletons
Advanced
in this
Warfare.
game. So I don't know, like a sci-fi game from the Souls guys would be really interesting.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd love if they just ditched Souls, like, because I feel like
the
they're
Souls
having the
gameplay or
Borderlands.
Souls the series.
Well, like the Souls gameplay, just because like they're kind of having the Borderlands effect with Gearbox, because like how Gearbox just be kind of just they're the Borderlands guys, and if they try to do anything else, nobody cares, you know. I mean, just look at Battleborn. But like
$5 bin hype.
yeah, I mean like regardless
See,
of
I
what,
almost feel like it's too late for From Software. They're already the Souls guys.
yeah, that's what I'm saying is like regardless of how good Battleborn actually is, because like it's a fine. I played it, like I played the beta. I'm like, this is fine. This is like it's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not Borderlands, so it's not gonna get people going. So when From Software comes out, it's not Souls game. It doesn't really have the gameplay either. People will just like, what the hell are you doing? Why else would I support you guys? You know?
Yo,
Yeah.
pure conjecture here, pure Huber hype bullshit right now. But what if? Because From Software, you know, you guys are saying they're the Souls guys, but what if they come back with Tenshu in space? Like,
Oh my god.
I don't even know what that means.
but just the hype level of it, man. Like, what?
Could you describe Tenshu just because it's kind of like a more niche thing?
Oh yeah, for people that don't know what Tenshu is, I guess during the PS1 era, basically, it was honestly, besides Metal Gear Solid, the only other competent stealth game where you basically played a ninja named Rikimaru, or his partner, I think her name was Ayane.
Like I've heard of
And-
Tenshu, but I'm not like familiar with like, you know.
Yeah, it's a third-person stealth game where you jump onto roofs like a ninja, you'd stealth execute people, cut their throats, whatever.
Dude, Neo
mission-based structure. Not really
I
like
don't.
Neo
Well,
per
Neo's
se.
more Onimusha than Tenshu, but
Yeah. I guess you could say it's more like third-person Dishonored, but obviously not to that polished level because of the
Yeah.
era it's in.
Yeah.
And with ninjas, and it's just I recommend checking out some videos. You'd be shocked how ahead of its time it was.
yeah. But yeah, it's like From Software is in a tough spot. That's for sure, because it's like you make Bloodborne 2, but then it's just like, okay, you might get the people like me who are just like, I want this, but I also want you guys to do something different. And then they do something different. It's like, well, this isn't Bloodborne 2, or you know, it's just like, well,
Yeah.
shit.
You know what they
guys.
could do is, if they wanted to stay within the Souls realm, or not the Souls realm, but you know how Souls
Souls-like
basically they kind of redefined like melee combat for like 3D games in a way of
realm. I think I know where
speaking.
you're going with this.
They could do that for ranged combat, guns, bows, whatever. All guns mainly.
I mean, Armored
It's kinda-
Core.
yeah.
That could work.
Yeah.
well, Armored Core is more like the Gran Turismo of mech games, though. You know, that's like super
Yeah.
simulation, quote unquote. Let me
Hawken-
just park my Honda mech.
Hawken 2. But yeah.
Hawken 2. No, but I mean, well, actually, yeah. Why we haven't seen anything from the new Armored Core? Who knows what that's gonna be, really?
Yeah.
You know,
it's- yeah.
what if
who-
they redo that series?
They're in a tough spot and a very exciting spot at the same time. Because they can really bring back some fan favorites now. Like, okay, now that we're kind of done with Souls, let's go back and bring back stuff that people have been asking for a long time.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put my trust in Miyazaki because,
Yeah. I mean, I'll buy anything he makes. I'm fine
Praise
with that.
Miyazaki.
yeah, pretty much. Like, and you know, I hate Dark Souls 3, by the way, but like he made that, and I hate it, but I still trust the man. I
Yeah.
know he has a vision.
Well, with like they're doing the like Brad's making the Dark Souls retrospective, and it's like I don't even really like Dark Souls, but I respect the hell out of it. It's like yeah, like there are a lot of games that like I don't necessarily like Dragon Age, or it's like I don't really necessarily like these, but I respect the hell out of them. So Dark Souls is definitely one of those games, but like I see the genius there because I played Bloodborne and I loved it, and Demon Souls. So it's like I'm 100% behind whatever this guy does at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on. Do you
is
want
there is there anything else for Sony though besides games? Anything? Oh, hardware, just for a
VR.
moment, if you don't mind. PSVR? Any like? I think
they're in a tough spot. Like tough spot is like the theme for this E3, but like, cause Resident Evil 7's out. That was their big tentpole VR game, and so now what do they do?
they didn't even do anything with it. By the way, we gotta say that they didn't. They didn't even offer a VR bundle with Resident Evil 7, which
Yeah.
astounds me.
What happened to Final
I
Fantasy
mean, that
15
game is probably
VR?
so intense, though.
It is, but it's like it is like the best showcase of the VR
Yeah.
for I think
I mean,
the
I
easiest
had
to
a
mass
PSVR.
consume.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then from an owner's perspective, what are your feelings on it now?
Well, I sold it, so if that gives you my feelings on it right there.
Okay, before
I
you
was-
sold it,
I
what
mean-
did you get to play on it?
I mean, I honestly only bought a few games. I bought Job Simulator.
Mhm.
I bought Batman, and I bought the tumble game where you're kind of stacking blocks just because it was cheap.
Mhm.
But none of the games really appeal to me that much because they're so expensive.
Yeah, like they're
Yeah.
good games, but they're just like the price of admission is. Steep.
Yeah, I mean, I can't pay $60 for Eve Valkyrie. I
Steep
can't
hype.
do it.
But like
But,
I was,
With
I was,
microtransactions, by the way.
I was gonna ask, what
Yeah.
happened to Final Fantasy 15 VR experience? Did that ever happen?
Dude,
No.
what happened to Final Fantasy
as
15's
Prompto.
coherent story?
Like, okay,
Oh my god.
I
I don't
love-
even want to get into that.
I loved 15. Like disclaimer.
Oh yeah,
I
I want
it's-
to make it clear. I love 15,
Oh,
but
I
that
love it too.
story,
Like-
that story is trash.
like I cried at the end. You know, whatever.
Me too.
But like everything else is like, what the hell is happening? Even like, not to spoil anything, but like the post credit, like the two post credit, like the post credit scene, the second one. I was like,
Yeah.
what? And then I had to like look up an explanation of like, oh no, it's this. I'm like, I guess that makes sense, but why would you? Okay, like okay.
And like, no spoilers here, but like, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, you'll know what I mean. Like, it also made me angry how much basically 15 was a ripoff of 6, like basically to the T, in a way, in the later portions. Especially watching Jones do the little Phantom Train part in 6 the other night.
Oh yeah.
And also just kind of what happens in 15 after the little time skip. No
I haven't
spoilers.
played 6. I started 6, but I haven't gone around it. It's on my Vita. I need to beat it, but it's
Yeah, I
just,
haven't
like,
played 6 either.
there's so many things. But like I know what you're talking about with the Spirit Train. Like I got that far, but like
Yeah, I was just like, wow.
it's like
where do
Persona
we have
5
something
though,
people
where
have
it's
waited
like
for 10 years.
back to Persona 5 though. Like Persona has always had like not tropes, but just like consistencies. Like you have the Yosuke
Well,
character and you have the Rise character. You know, it's like
Yeah,
you
I
know.
definitely see that, but like, because you haven't
Archetypes.
played 6, it's a little harder. I'm
Yeah.
talking about a direct plot element that had
Yeah.
like, I think it only happened in 6, right? And then like 15 literally recreated it, and my jaw dropped, not in the good way. I was like,
yeah. I think
they
I wouldn't be
really went
surprised
there.
if they're just like, oh, we'll like make like people love 6. We'll like really surprise them and have this big old homage or tribute to 6, and it just kind of came off
it
as
was
lazy.
the biggest wink nod that was not necessary.
It's the least subtle jab of all time.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I can see why that'd be annoying, but like, I don't want to like derail this again, but like just like back to E3, just because E3 hype. But I think Detroit, they're gonna finally like, they gotta do a release date for
yeah.
that, because like everyone forgets about Detroit, and then you bring it up, and you're like, oh, Detroit, yeah, that looks cool, you know, it's like, because that trailer at E3 2016 was awesome. Like that was like they could not
yeah.
have demonstrated that game any better, except for the stupid. Like I love what Brandon. Hi, you just watched the trailer.
Oh yeah.
My name is Connor, and this is my story. I get it. That's the theme because it's vignette style, and they want to be like, my name is this, and whatever. But it's just like, is this the early 2000s trailers? Like what? But like,
I mean,
just yeah. Anyway,
all I know is I'm just ready for some like terrible David Cage writing, which it's so bad it's good writing. Cause
oh yeah.
I was watching like my friend stream like Heavy Rain the other day, and fucking what's the detective's name? Norman Jaden. Like
I forget. It's been a long time.
Norman Jaden. He's just sitting there with his like freaking
VR
glasses,
yeah.
and then bouncing a ball off of like a non-existent wall.
Like Heavy Rain's a great
this
game,
is good
but yeah.
writing.
Heavy Rain's a great game, but like.
I mean, I love Heavy Rain, but the only thing I think of is him screaming Jason in the mall every time.
Jason. Jason.
I'm Scott Shelby. Like.
I mean, it's been made fun of to death, so I don't want to like harp too much on it. But yeah. But like Detroit,
I love that game though.
Yeah. I loved Heavy Rain, like, but like, Detroit really looks good. Like that looks like yes, like this. Even like I'm willing to spend $60 on this game. You know, like all the different opportunities. You know,
definitely.
like and just like the narrative itself looks so entitled. Like the negotiator on site, like oh shit, like. It's so cool. It's cool as hell.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, I'm joking around, but like honestly, like I'm a person that values story like a lot in video games, which is kind of ironic. Which is why I love Persona so much, because it's like 80 to 100 hours of story, but
mixed with awesome gameplay.
I will also, mixed with awesome gameplay. But I will also gladly shell out for what a lot of people. Even to this day, I think, like, complain, like, oh, you're paying $60 for a movie. Like, fuck no, dude. I'm paying for a good story with, like, some different gameplay.
Yeah, it's
whether
Journey.
it's, like, super
Journey.
involved or not.
Like, Journey is, like,
It's a
15...
game, you know?
Journey is, like, an hour and a half long, and by the end, you're crying, and it's like, you don't even think about how much you just spent on it. You're just like, oh my god, that was amazing. Oh, you know, it's just like, you gotta have the... Like, it's why I was kind of upset when people were like... The Order is only like so many hours. It's like, well, like when it wasn't even out yet, you know. It's just like, well, if that's a really good 5 to whatever hours, then who cares, you know?
You know what's really funny about The Order for me? It's like I never cared about the length, but like personally, I didn't like The Order because I really thought the gameplay was super repetitive.
The narrative was really good, though.
Oh, I hated the story in that game.
Oh, really? I loved the story. I loved it.
I thought the story was like so poor. But so poor. Trust me. Like, in my opinion.
For me, I just thought it was like a very good like 7 out of 10. Like, yeah, just play it and be done.
I just thought it was funny because people kept complaining about the length, but they weren't like jazzed.
That wasn't even the least of the
gameplay,
problems.
And I kept thinking, I was like, well, if the gameplay is kind of meh, why do you want more of it than the 5-6 hours it is? I never understood that complaint with like I guess quote unquote bad games. Like, I don't know.
And it's only 5 hours long. It's like, would you really want 5 more hours of this?
Hey,
I mean,
man,
they paid $60 for it. They want their money's worth out of it.
Yeah, I get it, but like your money's worth is like getting a very solid, cohesive experience. You know, it's like I'll spend
money's worth can mean anything.
You know, like I'll spend $60 on. I don't. It's hard to find a good example just because a lot of like every game's an open world game now, so it's kind of hard to find a game that's like $60 and pretty short. But like Resident Evil 7's a good example. It's like. It's not that short, but like compared to a Persona or it's like 10 to 12 hours. Like okay, $60.
We spend $60. We spend $60 to justify basically fake time that we're fucking buying to play online with each other.
I wouldn't be surprised if like $60 isn't even like the normal cost of games after a while. Like once everything goes all digital, it's gonna be just like. Ubisoft's gonna be like, we think games should be $55. Then EA's gonna be like, well, 50. Actually, EA would be like 65, and then. EA joke, but like it's gonna get more competitive as things go more digital, and
well, you know what? Because E3. Speaking of EA,
dude, Need for Speed hype, dude. I don't
wait. Need for Speed? Is there a new Need for Speed?
They announced that the new Need for Speed game. They already said like we're gonna be showing Battlefront 2 and a new entry in Need for Speed franchise. I'm like yes, because I'm in the minority.
Battlefront 2.
I'm in the minority. I love Battlefront, like the new one, and I love the new Need for Speed. Like I'm unabashed, apologetic. Like I love those games. So like bring on EA's conference. You can bring Pele out. I don't care. I just want to see some Battlefront 2 Need for Speed.
I was gonna say like. Oh my god, what if they brought out like Dikembe Mutombo? You still gonna have like your interest there? Like what?
Well,
oh man.
It's like
not in my house.
it's like last year's where it's like Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 5 or Battlefield 1 were both like 5 out of 5, but everything else was a 0. You know, so it's like it's hard to say. Like I remember 2015 when it's like in 50 minutes we're gonna show you Battlefront. It's like, why are you you're only teasing this because you know your press conference is bad and you need something to keep people watching. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. I hope like, you know, those kind of conferences are
But EA's stupid. They don't
very,
learn.
very bare minimum. The only reason that I'm semi excited for any of those side conferences is because I know like I'll be watching EZA's commentary on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the saving grace, is the third party that's commenting on the thing I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
I don't really
probably
care for those conferences.
I probably won't watch them when I watch like Sony's, just because I really want to like study that. You know, like be there. I don't want any like distractions. Like I'll be with friends, so it's just like, you know, that'll be my distraction. But like
real life friends, what?
I know, weird. I have like one or two.
I wish I had real life friends that would watch a conference with me.
I know it's hard because like I'm in college, so I'm exposed to a lot of different people, but none of them would want to like sit down and, you know, nerd out. But like,
Yeah.
and like all the friends who I have that would are like,
E3?
yeah, all of my friends that would are like out of like moved away to like a different city, so it's just like, damn it. But anyway.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
That is too funny.
But
E3 party at Wade's dorm. Like,
I mean, hey now.
Dude, if I had friends that would want to do that, I would be so into that.
I would be so down. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
Like,
dude, not even joking. I've had like when I was like, cause when it's summer, I just live at my parents' house just cause, you know, money.
yeah.
And
It's easy.
and like my friends are like the friends that haven't moved are in town, so we'll just like hang out and watch E3, and like I'm not even joking. Like we were watching 2014's when they announced, because like all we wanted was GTA 5 to come to PS4, and like when that news was dropped, one of my friends straight up ripped his shirt off and started screaming like, "Yeah!" He was just like, "Whoa!" Like, move over. Like I'll take that over easy. Like no offense to EZA, but like I'll just take that, you know, in the room environment, just because like that's just.
Oh, of course. I
you know,
mean, if you
like,
can have people to get hype with next to you, of
I would
course.
sell my soul to be in the same room as EZA watching E3 though. Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me?
Oh, dude, like, I guess since like we're talking about E3, basically, EZA, like I knew about the GT guys back then, but I didn't like watch them.
Same here. I didn't watch them until they were EZA.
Yeah, and
Yeah, me
so
either.
like, but I was watching their E3 press conference because I'm like, I'll support these guys because they recently lost their jobs, and then like they need support whether I'm paying or not. And instantaneously, what I loved about EZA though, and if you guys want to share in on this, is most E3 press conferences when the other outlets watch, they're kind of like cynical and curmudgeon-y about it.
Yeah, I was watching like Giant Bomb.
Complete 180
Yeah.
with EZA.
Like,
These
I don't-
guys were
yeah.
enthusiastic and passionate, and I was like, whoa, holy shit, journalists like that still exist? This is eye-opening to me.
Even when they're being negative, they're still like being like, it's you know, it's work in progress. Whatever.
It's constructive. It's not from
Yeah,
a
it's
place
constructive.
where it's like jaded.
Tango down, tango down.
Yeah, it's
It's like they'll make jokes, but it's not like negative. Oh, I was watching their 2015 Ubisoft, and when they showed Ghost Recon Wildlands for the first time, Huber was like, "That's not Ghost Recon. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it." And then I'm like, "Oh, if only he knew that 2 years later he'd be live streaming with Jones, having a gay old time, you know, like, you know, a jolly good gay old time." You know, it's like,
he just thought it was the road. Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
too good.
It's just like, but I was just watching that. I'm like, if only you knew that Ghost Recon Wildlands would actually be a pretty solid game, you know. But
Yeah,
it was so
yeah.
weird watching them react to Ghost Recon Wildlands reveal. I'm like, the second that came up, I'm like, oh, this is Ghost Recon. You know, I'm like, oh, this is Ghost Recon. Like, this looks like Ghost Recon. And they're like, what is this? Is this Call of Juarez? And like, because I was watching that with my friends at the time. Haha. But jokes. And like, even like one of my friends was a huge Ghost Recon fan, and I'm like, this is Ghost Recon. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, this is like, I wasn't even into Ghost Recon. I'm like, this looks like Ghost Recon to me. And he's like, I doubt it. And then Ghost Recon Wildlands. I'm like, I told you. So yeah. But yeah, I just yeah.
I will say one thing, because that's not EA, but you know, Ubisoft I think has a conference too, right? Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, just be better than last year.
I'm kind of hoping, and this will probably never happen, another Pie in the Sky. I want Splinter Cell to come back.
Dude,
but
I think it's time.
I want it to come back as like a difficult stealth game.
I think it would be best to just reboot the franchise, because Blacklist was kind of like the ending, because he's like old and weathered and everything.
Well, I mean, to me, what was the one before Blacklist? Conviction.
Conviction, yeah.
Yeah, the moment
that was supposed to be like the ending almost.
Yeah, that one to me was the ending, because
they changed voice
had
actors.
that different voice actor,
yeah, exactly.
and I'm like,
Michael Ironside was gone.
Yeah, this is not Sam Fisher.
So it'd make more sense to reboot it. If you're not using Michael Ironsides, then just reboot it.
Yeah, just reboot it.
Have a younger Sam Fisher. Or
younger Sam Fisher. Yeah.
It's like, do whatever you want. Just Splinter Cell. Bring it back.
Just give me more Splinter Cell that's difficult.
Open world Splinter Cell.
Third-person stealth game. Oh God, I hope not.
Dude, it will.
Oh God, I hope not.
I'm not even joking. It'll be open world, because like Yves Guillemot or like one of them was just like, we like to give our players the option to make their own stories, and I think open world games are the best opportunity. It's like,
no, the only way I would accept, I guess, open anything Splinter Cell is if like the levels were as densely and creatively designed as the Hitman ones, because those aren't open world technically, but they are a haven for stealth.
I see what you mean.
Aficionados.
Open-ended, but not open world.
Yeah, because like I don't need to drive from third echelon to a coffee shop in between stealth kills. Like, this is stupid.
Yeah, because Splinter Cell's always been very narratively driven, so it's like it feels like a disservice to the name. Yeah, I know, but like it feels like almost. But I mean, like even like Ghost Recon used to be narratively driven, and I guess it's like it's not. I can't even say it still is, because it's really not. Because the whole point is make your own story.
I think Splinter Cell, though, stood out really because, in lack of better words, it actually had its own, like, real mascot in Sam Fisher.
Yeah, it had a mascot, yeah.
I think, in my opinion, Sam Fisher is, like, equally as likable as Snake. Maybe not the same history.
I wouldn't go that far.
But, I mean, in my opinion,
I'm a total Metal Gear fanboy. I have no real connection to Splinter Cell, so I'm biased.
No, trust me. I'm a giant Metal Gear Solid fan, but it's like, I think I hit a point with Metal Gear where I was like, this is not going to go the way I hoped. So it was like, I kind of lost a little faith in that series. Mm-hmm. Like, did you like 5? I hated 5.
I'll confess, I think Metal Gear Solid 5 is one of the greats.
In a gameplay standpoint, sure, I would agree there, but as a story, I think it's...
I mean, yeah, but like... I mean, it's weird because, like, Metal Gear Solid, when you look at all the Metal Gear Solid games, none of the stories are that, like, amazing. Like...
I disagree, man. Metal Gear Solid 3.
I mean, yeah, but, like, and 2 was just confusing, but it's, like, poignant to... Like, it was a little... It's hard to explain. It's very over the top. It's always been very over the top.
2 was a game ahead of its time because it was so meta.
Well, you play that game now and you're just like, oh, it makes sense now. Like, oh, I get it now. But, like, I was playing 4. It's just like... If you, like, 4 was my first Metal Gear Solid game, and I loved it, but it's just like, holy crap. Like,
wait, let's go back for a second. 4 was your first one? How did you process anything?
I'm just like, hey, there's a badass ninja dude. Hey, that's a cool guy with glasses, Snake. I already knew who Snake was, so I'm like, oh, he's old now. I'm like,
have you played all of them, though? Like,
yeah, I've since went back and played all of them, and I love all of them. But like,
okay, yeah, because I was gonna say it's like, damn boy, 4 is a terrible place to start. Like,
4 is my favorite one. 4 is the first one and my favorite one. Like, no shame.
Like, my first one was Metal Gear Solid 1 for PS1, and then my favorite one ended up being 3. 4 was actually, ironically, the only one I only played once.
I played through 4 a billion times because what happened was. I heard of Metal Gear Solid. One of my friends had Metal Gear Solid 4, and I asked to borrow it, and I played it like 5 times in 1 week. It was just like, I'm like, yes, yes, I love this, yes. So, I don't know, it just clicked with me. It just clicked.
See, I've only played the first one, but you guys might hate me for this, but I'm not a huge fan of stealth in general in any game.
Wait, first back up. Like PS1
like
first?
PS1, PS1.
Okay.
That's one of the greats.
Yeah, I mean, I just how I've always been though. I don't know why. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, like, well, going back to like Metal Gear Solid 5, I just love what they just, again, like from a gameplay perspective, from a stealth gameplay perspective, it's like, yeah, it's insane. Like, it's unreal. Like, that's a 10 out of 10 gameplay. Like, the loop and like just the actual mechanics itself. But like, I just don't think a bad story makes it a bad game, you know? Like,
well, here's my thing, because I want to, and I'm not trying to get in an argument with you, obviously. Just devil's advocate.
A civil discourse.
I know, obviously, I'm not feeling animosity towards you, by the way.
Civil discourse.
Civil discourse. Like, you're talking about the loop, right? And yeah, for the first few times, maybe even 10 times that I did that loop, it was good. But then for me, I think they even talked about this in the recent Frame Trap, when you can feel the mechanic, if that makes sense, of a game instead of...
Yeah, I see what you mean. Instead of just it happening.
So you know what I mean. Yeah, you can feel basically like...
You get in the meta.
The false... You get the meta, you get the falseness of an activity.
Yeah.
And that's never good in a game, I think, unless it's intentional.
Where it's like, when you realize, like, oh, I'm just doing this to get this. Like, what am I... Like
right.
I like No Man's Sky, but when you boil it down, it's like, what am I even doing? You know, like...
Right.
I'm just scouring a planet to get resources so I can go to another planet to scour resources to go to... it's like... I see what you mean. Like,
and here's the thing for me with Metal Gear Solid, it's like... okay, so the base thing, that's basically every single mission. I mean, let's not lie. But how you approach that is obviously up to you, and you can make that a lot of fun, which I did.
Yeah.
However, the caveat to that is I did that for 60 hours, and that was the ending of Chapter 1. Now, you can't come to a guy and be like, well, just consider Chapter 1. Yeah, you can't just be like, oh, yeah, just consider Chapter 1 an ending. No, because if I said this to, like, a fresh-faced dude that's never played Metal Gear...
Chapter 1 is the ending. Like, what? Excuse me?
Chapter fucking 2, you repeat all the missions, except on these stupid difficulties. European Extreme, Metal Gear Up Your Ass Edition, like... And it's for, like, this BS, like, and here's the thing, like... For a series with a well-established... Because, dude, I played Metal Gear Solid 1 when I was 11, so...
Makes an impression.
And I played them in order... Yeah, I played them in order, basically, from the release of the 3D ones, at least. And just, they were clearly ingrained into my mind, like, oh, this is about the story. This series is about the story.
Yeah.
And, like, playing 5... As a fan, I felt like so betrayed. Yeah. I knew exactly why he did what he did in terms of gameplay, because... He got heavy criticism for 4 with those cutscenes. Yeah.
Maybe
that's where I'm coming from in terms of why I hate that game.
Like, I think that just shows the difference into how we play Metal Gear, though, because I go in, my first game is Metal Gear Solid 4, and my hook is the gameplay, not the story, So,
up until that point, it did have the best gameplay.
Well, 4 was like, this is just fun to play, this is just fun to dick around it, it's just like... My main draw to Metal Gear Solid was the gameplay. So I think that makes sense why I love Metal Gear Solid 5 so much, is because it's just them going balls deep on Metal Gear Solid gameplay, So
definitely.
Whereas story, I've always appreciated and loved the story, especially 2 is my favorite story of the series. Just, I actually 3 is my least favorite in the franchise.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I love
leave your own podcast.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I fucking love 3, but it's
just your least favorite. That's fine.
You know what I mean? It's it's still a god tier game. It's just it's just my
Right.
But I think that just shows we're playing different Metal Gears. I'm playing the gameplay Metal Gear, and you're playing the narrative. Yeah. But I want to Metal Gear Solid 5 is one of those games where I understand literally every single criticism of it, but it doesn't get them. It's like Watch Dogs and No Man's Sky. It's I get every I totally understand every criticism of this game. I love it anyway.
Yeah, sure, and a lot of there's a lot of criticisms you could even lob at a game that we all three of us love, like Persona. It's 10 hours in. It's probably one of the most linear games I've ever played, and in gamer speak, linear equals a no apparently.
Yeah.
But
and the writing's cheesy, and the VO is a little iffy at times, and it's anime trash. It's just you could totally just throw all that stuff. I'm I don't care. I love it.
Perspectives, though, man. That's what this is about. Perspectives.
I played Witcher 3, didn't care about it really. Like, this is gonna get me crucified, I know, but like I played like 20 hours of Witcher 3. I'm like, okay, that was fun, and I didn't really think about
20 hours is giving it a shot. So
yeah, I'm like I gave it a shot.
Nobody's gonna fault you.
Yeah, I'm like I liked it a lot, but it just didn't like. I'm not like, oh my god, best RPG, yeah, like best Western RPG in like decades. I'm just like, you know, it's fun. I thought Metal Gear Solid 5 was better that year. You know, it was just like, that's just me being me. You know.
Was that the same year Bloodborne came out?
Yep.
Bloodborne was better than all of them then. I know I sound like Ian, but I'm usually not like that about Souls games, but Bloodborne, good God.
Yeah.
I mean, I love The Witcher, but I agree with you.
Yeah, it's
okay.
like Witcher is 100% one of those games that I understand all of the hype around it. It's just not necessarily a game for me. You know.
I completely get that. Yo, I gotta dip out in 10 minutes, by the way. So,
okay.
Anything else?
We can start wrapping it up. Just cover any bases we missed.
This is a Fast and Loose podcast, people.
We're just shooting from the hip, yeah. But like,
I'm gonna love your description on Facebook if you post it. Like, yeah, we talk about
we bring up E3 and don't come back to it for another 20-30 minutes, but just roll with it. We talk about Siege and Metal Gear for like way too long, but you know, this is how it goes.
Yeah. But is there any like final topic we could discuss for a few minutes though?
We could just wrap like final thoughts on like E3 hype, you know. Try to keep it quick. I know it's hard because we definitely went off on tangents, but like let's just try to keep it rapid fire. Just like
okay, well,
you know.
just
my main thing is Kingdom Hearts 3. Will it reveal itself?
I don't think so.
I wanted to.
No, I take that back. I take that back.
I think it will.
I think it will because 1.5 and 2.8 came out.
Exactly. I don't even. Again, Kingdom Hearts franchise. I don't give a shit about, but I respect. You know, I see Brad and all of them. I'm like, man, I wish I loved this. I just don't. But yeah, it's like, but Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, do you think that we'll get both that and 7 remake though?
I think so. Honestly, like they weren't because 2015 they did both. You know? Like,
yeah.
No, actually, I don't think we'll get both. I think we're gonna get one or the other, and then now that you mention it, I think we're gonna get Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
I can see that. I can see that.
That's been in the oven for so fucking long now. It's probably
longer than 7 remake.
To show itself a little.
Yeah,
I mean, we barely see anything in Kingdom Hearts 3, right?
Yeah, there was just that footage at Square Enix's conference.
It's been in development.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I could see them just doing Kingdom Hearts 3 blowout and then maybe a tease for Final Fantasy 7, like gameplay, like a little. I mean, we've seen gameplay of Final Fantasy 7, but like, you know, all I want from Final Fantasy 7 remake is have Final Fantasy 15, but in 7's world. It's like, okay, I'm good.
Well,
yeah.
My hope for E3, and I'll try to keep this rapid fire. I don't know. I don't really have a hope. I just hope it's as exciting as 2016 for all involved.
Yeah, like EA, fix your shit. Ubisoft, make it shorter. Don't spend a half hour on each game.
Yeah. Here's my hope. At least, not that I really am gonna buy it, really, or probably even care for it, but I hope they show Crackdown 3. Maybe that'll be like that.
I think it's time to re-show it.
Re-reveal, whatever.
It'll re-reveal itself. But like,
yeah,
just like it'll show off the Scorpio. Like with this hardware, you could have destructible environments, you know, whatever, and it's all in stable 60 frames and 4K. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's a technical powerhouse showcase, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's basically my only hope, and I look forward to watching it with the EZA crew, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to their reactions. Because, if they announce some crazy shit, oof. I'm excited for the Call of Duty World War II, if that's the rumors are true, which they seem to be. I'm excited for that demo, just to see what the hell they're up to. I'm excited for Wolfenstein, because it seems like it's time to show that. Because they teased it last year, the new Colossus. Maybe like one of my biggest pie in the sky dreams is actually at EA's.
Mm-hmm.
Bring Burnout back. Bring Burnout back, please. Please. I'm a racing game fiend. Burnout 3 is like in like Oof, that's a good...
Burnout 3 HD, dude. I'm down.
Even if they just had, hey, all the Need for Speed games and the Burnout games are on PS2, on PS4, I would freak the fuck out. You know, even if they just said like, yeah, Need for Speed, Most Wanted, and Burnout 3 are on PS2, on PS4. It's like, yes. So that's all I really want. Skate 4 hype. Never gonna happen, but Skate 4 hype.
What about you, son? What do you want?
I mean, my main thing is I definitely want a new Souls game, whether it be Bloodborne or something else. Because Dark Souls, the first one, is my favorite game ever. Yeah. But
sorry, I kind of like shat on it, but
no, it's fine.
I totally respect it. I totally respect. Like, I totally, yeah. No, but I'm really interested to see if Microsoft is going to bring in some new IPs. Oh,
because,
yeah, they need to.
I mean, I think if they don't, then it's over.
But my only thing with that is, like, these are the guys who have the Coalition and 343 studios that are designed to make one game and one game only.
I know.
I don't know if they want to make new IP aside from like see if just like let Rare do its thing. But like, it's
but I would love it. They need second party support
because they canceled Scalebound and Sunset Overdrive was a flop. So it's just like that just turned them off to new IP.
And I just feel like that they need something new.
Yeah.
Because like I want to like Xbox. Yeah, I really do.
I've got my Xbox One S. It's like I want to love it.
I mean, I had an Xbox 360. I never even had a PS3, and like I wanted to like the Xbox One, but I can't. I don't know. Not for me. But I'm hoping that they get something out there.
It's all about perspective. Theme of the episode: rough times and perspective.
Pretty much.
It's true.
All right. Yeah, I think
guys.
That's a pretty good place to end it. The pretty good cohesive bow on the package. So thanks, guys. Do you want to just like reintroduce yourselves, put your Twitter handles, your PSN or your gamer tags, whatever, and a sign off?
Yeah, sure. I'm Raihan in the Facebook friends group.
Join the group, by the way.
Yeah, join the group, by the way. And
Easy Allies official group.
Yep. And my Twitter is TheZepp187. That's TheZepp187. So you could just find me on Twitter. And also you can see me in the Easy Allies chat when they're streaming most days. So look out.
Yeah, my name's Jimmy. I don't have a Twitter.
Ooh.
But yeah, I know.
Bold move.
Yeah, I know, right? But my gamer tag is Sunvsrhinovirus, and pretty active on the Easy Allies Facebook group.
All right, and either of you got like a trademark sign off you want to like either establish now or just something a final word, if anything.
Nah, I don't got a trademark sign off. You can't really beat Brad's, can you?
No, dude, I look forward to Brad. I'm like, please give him the final. Yeah, please. Whenever I see like the explicit tag and podcast, I'm like, yes.
I guess I'll just say love and respect, guys.
Love and respect. All right.
The best way to end it, right there.
You got anything to say, son?
I got nothing.
All right.
Love and respect, though.
Play Persona 5. That's my final word. Thanks for listening to the Easy Allies Community Podcast. If you're interested, I'm active in the Facebook Easy Allies Facebook group. Join that. Leave your PSN tag so I can put you in a party and talk to you for a while. And this is a lot of fun, guys. This is really fun. Like, had a very good time. I'm glad I got to meet you guys. Definitely. We'll definitely have to hit up Siege sometime.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, play Persona 5, and I'll see you guys next time.